Thank you for attending the Cannabis Investor Webcast. We would like to thank our sponsors, Pazoo Incorporated, stock symbol PZOO, MyDx Incorporated, stock symbol MYDX, CLS Holdings USA Incorporated, stock symbol CLSH, American X Corporation and Technical420.com, and Naturally Spinach Enterprises Limited, which is stock symbol NSPDF. We would like for you to reserve the date May 23rd through May 25th, 2016 to attend the Cannabis Publicly Traded Companies Investor, Analyst, and Media Conference in Atlanta, Georgia. Our next presenter today is Daniel Yazbek, founder of MyDx Incorporated.
Let's get started. Thank you everyone for joining the presentation. We're going to update you on MyDx actually now. We're going to update you on the company, on the new team, and some of the latest developments that we've undergone. We're also going to give a high-level overview of our mission, vision, and what markets we're going after for those that are new to the company. So forward-looking statements. We're a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ OTCQB, so we are limited in what we can say, but I'm going to say as much as I can say based on all the questions that are asked. We are a transparent company as long as we stay compliant. So the challenge we went after is that today there is no quick, easy, and affordable way for consumers to test the safety and composition of what they eat, drink, and inhale. So the solution we felt was a company initially called CDX Inc., which is a science and technology company founded in 2013, headquartered in San Diego, California. Our mission is to empower consumers to trust and verify what they put into their minds and bodies. And we've developed MyDx, which is also referred to as MyDiagnostic. DX in the diagnostics industry is a very popular term. It's the first handheld chemical analyzer for consumers. It offers quick, easy, and affordable way for consumers to test the safety and composition of what they eat, drink, and inhale. We raised $7.6 million in private equity since January of last year, and we've successfully developed and tested 220 beta units in the field in February 2015. We completed a reverse merger with MyDx Inc. in May 2015, and then we uplisted to the OTCQB in May 2015, and we are now under the ticker symbol MYDX. The CannaDx product was released in July of 2015. We became a revenue-generating company at that point. And more recently, we appreciate the accolades from Massroots, who named us the official marijuana analyzer of the cannabis community in August of 2015. And we just learned that they applied to get uplisted onto the NASDAQ, so we're very excited for Isaac and his team at Massroots. So we offer a simple solution, and we believe we have a first-mover advantage. So how does it work? For those who are not aware of the analyzer, it has a device, and it connects via Bluetooth to a smartphone app, iOS and Android at this time. You place a sample of whatever material we're testing chemically in the sample chamber, and that will connect via Bluetooth, and then you push measure. You wait about 3 minutes, and it gives you the chemical profile of your sample. And in the case of the cannabis application, it asks you, how did this make you feel? So our first mover advantage is that MyDx is really the first handheld chemical analyzer for consumers to measure certain chemicals of interest in our verticals, which we'll discuss, and provides an analysis at a price point sensitivity that others can't match for our size. It's an affordable price, which we are actively decreasing at this time with certain product financing solutions. So if someone's paying $700, at some point in the future we hope to offer financing for this so that they're paying about $58 a month for 12 months. It's a simple 3-step process: connect, sample, measure. It's approximately a 3-minute test, and we're trying to decrease that. It has a razor blade model, which means we have recurring revenue, we have sensors, and we have sample inserts, and we'll get into that. And consumers are really increasingly interested and mindful in what they put into their minds and bodies, so we're capturing this as a first mover in that market. The MyDx solution, we've got a variety of products. The analyzer, which comes with a sensor and 15 sample inserts and a free app and a free cloud service, is a package which is $6.99. You can then buy additional sensors for different applications. The first application we launched is CannaDx. The price of this is $69.95 retail. And for the inserts, we have $1.49, and if you buy in bulk, they come down to 99 cents. The MyDx app is free for Android and iOS, and the cloud service, which is really a knowledge base of, we can, I think, over 500 cannabis strains in San Diego and other labs in Arizona, and some of our partners have tested samples as well. And it's interesting, the data that we've been seeing for the breakdown of THC, CBD, and other profiles. And the industry would like to, obviously THC is the big topic right now. We'll get into that, but I want to explain that it's not about THC, and some of the data we're seeing is, there's a limit to what this THC profile, what's the maximum number that we've seen. So it's going to be interesting how this turns out with the data we accumulate. Okay, let's talk about the technology. So I like this technology because it was, I like the field of biomimicry. Basically, you can mimic nature's design and engineering. It's a perfect model. So there's a human sense of smell where you can smell vapors of different samples. These vapors, your mind will, they're going to be converted to electrical impulses, in your body and interpreted by your mind. And we did the exact same thing with MyDx. We used a pump, and we've been, this was an $8 pump we started with. We aggressively reduced the price of this pump to under $10 by design for manufacturing exercises we've gone through over the last year or so. We use an array of sensors, and that's the key. You have many different sensors that detect chemicals in different ways, and when you interpret the signal, you don't have to separate. You can interpret everything at once using sophisticated algorithms. And in the area of hardware and software and algorithm engineering, that's what we've developed. This looks like an old-fashioned diagram, and we'll update this for you, but we are very advanced at this stage in each of these areas. So we're leveraging technology used for over 15 years. The space station actually used this technology to detect the air quality for astronauts. It was funded by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for certain applications. A sample is placed in the MyDx device, is analyzed by 16 sensors, and that's the whole point. With electronic noses, you have many sensors. So a dog's nose has more sensors than a human nose, so that gives you an idea of how far we can take this technology. So there's 4 different applications we're going after: Organa, Off-Arrow, and Canna. So I'm just going to touch on each one. So OrganaDx will test what you eat for organic properties. So we're excited to get preliminary data on our pesticide sensor and the specifications we set out. We're actively seeking pesticides that are linked to cancer. This is an epidemic, I believe, that is important, and we feel, and based on the data and the World Health Organization report that we've seen, that some of these pesticides are linked there, and so we are active in this space. It's difficult to develop a technology that can simply detect everything, so it takes time, and once you detect the pesticides, you then have to detect them in actual samples. So our R&D process is fast, but still requires a lot of work. A booming industry, obviously, organic food industry is booming, and I'm not going to get into the details. Everybody knows, everybody's going organic, and because we were starting to learn, pesticides are linked to cancer. I want to know. So the next topic, AquaDx, which is the next sensor, will test what you drink for harmful chemicals. Obviously, there's also pesticides in water, I've recently learned. So they seep because you have the farms that spray the pesticides, and the pesticides get in the water supply. And so we're going to be looking for a lot of chemicals in water. In AeroDx, this is a simple index by the EPA. We were working with some partners originally who were able to successfully do this. We'll probably incorporate their sensor or develop our own to detect air quality, and that becomes an issue. But what I'm most excited about is CannaDx, and that's the cannabis vertical that we went after first, because this industry needed a friend in science and technology, and I personally was excited, and some of my team members as well, about being able to find a strain that works for you, because it's so difficult, as my colleagues or my fellow presenters mentioned earlier, to get consistency in anything you do. And so there's many ways to approach it. You can extract and formulate and give someone a product that will work. You can do a variety of things. You can mix samples, but we want to be able to test your samples and tell you, here's what recommend for you a strain that works for you based on your own physiology. So The CannaDx sensor will test cannabis with 25 important chemicals of interest, including cannabinoids and terpenes. The federal government at this time does not mandate, but obviously states have mandated certain testing. The chemical composition of lab ments is fairly consistent. I don't know if this is 100% accurate. They did a test with Emerald Scientific, and lab variances are, plus or minus 16% is what we heard. So as lab standards are articulated, we want to be a part of that process so that we can, be able to offer a solution that's complementary to labs. So because, a $50,000 piece of equipment is always going to detect more accurately than a $699 device. That said, we're targeting 20% accuracy with our devices for chemicals. So the projected market forecasts are increasing. 27 medical compassionate states are now medically legal. 5, including D.C., have adult use, and the growth is it grew 74% to 2.7 billion until 2014, and it's a growing market, and we're excited to be here and to support it with data that we're going to be helping generate and articulate to the market. So this is the solution to real-time cannabis testing in the palm of your hands. You will be able to, I think we've covered a lot of this. The recommendation engine we're excited about, and this is some of the terpenes that we cover, and these are some of the cannabinoids that we test as well. And CBD, our current accuracy is not very high for those that are out there, so our THC is looking good, CBN is looking good, our terpenes are more volatile, so we're at that level. But more importantly, I want to touch on this, which is, we don't believe it's about THC, so a lot of people are stuck on this, and you see this THC and CBD. We say it's about PCP, you can say total chemical profile, total cannabis profile. The point is, cannabis contains over 400 chemicals that can affect our minds and bodies, and then there's a lot of terpenes and cannabinoids and flavonoids, which we haven't even tackled yet, together with a entourage effect that ultimately dictates how it affects our body. So we're going to test for all of it, and we're going to interpret the sensor responses with our algorithms to tell you using a reference database, which we use with GC, similar to Quantcan, similar to other folks in the industry, how we report this, and we want the patients to help us understand how does this make you feel and help themselves. And when you can save this personal profile, you can then use a recommendation engine, which I can touch on here. So once you've saved the Harlot 2 helps you relieve epilepsy or makes you happy, and here's the total chemical profile, then you can come back and look for something that relieves epilepsy, and you can actually look for multiple elements at the same time and narrow down in our app, but you can look for epilepsy and pain, and it will narrow it down so Harlot 2 pops up actually in your data locally at a local dispensary as we tie this application in, and community, what's in the reference database. And so this is something we want to drive as a point in the industry, and we're doing that with CannaDx. So we seek recommendations. You can get information. We're tying in. So once you identify a strain, you can locate it at a local dispensary, and we're working with some partners to achieve that goal. So this is important because we are going to be collecting data, and data from a variety of sources: manufacturers, distributors, consumers, and regulators. Manufacturers want to know what they're growing. Distributors want to know what they're buying and selling. Our focus is consumers. That's why we made it at a consumer price point, so that they can know what they're putting in their body, and they can test the potency and safety. We get them out with the organic sensor, or even another form of the cannabis sensor, which we're excited to announce in the near future, and find that strain that works for them. So and then this will transition them into the pesticides, but we do see it span across, including regulators. A consumer-grade version of this device can help mothers know whether their child was, did they smoke? Or that would be interesting, and we would support the regulators on that track. So our goal is to support the industry and the entire supply chain. And we are going to be secured, and we want HIPAA compliant, and we have taken all the steps toward those goals, and we will get the certifications and everything else required to continue to exercise, safety with data, and share this data with the communities that we work with, so that everybody can benefit. So our business model, a lot of our sales to date have come from consumers via web. So we're very excited about that. It's direct retail, and it's really helping us, have a direct relationship with the consumers. At trade shows, we had a lot of interest. We haven't attended a trade show yet with our devices. We will be in the near future. And our wholesale and channel distribution partners have begun to, supply our devices, and we're looking forward to growing this portal here so that we can deploy faster and have people play with the device in live. Our growth strategy, we're just kickstarting our marketing, advertising, trade shows. We've recently brought on some new team members we're looking forward to announce, and we believe they're going to do a great job for this company. We're going to expand our sales team, leverage channel partner sales teams as well, which is important. And a company like the Cannabis Rep Network that recently launched, I think would be very interesting, and people should look them up. They give tours to dispensaries and promote products, and I think they're going to do very well. We're going to increase our pipeline and gain POs and contracts, and this comes in as you do purchase orders and invoice. You get into a cash flow, so we need to make sure that we can support our distributors so that they can sell these devices depending on the size. Product development, Canna, Organa, Aeronaut will be in the future. Organa, we're excited next, as well as whatever we add to Canna. And then we have had a lot of requests from custom niche markets, so we're looking forward to collaborating with people in various spaces on food safety, wine industry, whatever comes up, as long as we stay focused. But at this time, we're focused on Canna and making sure that that solution meets the customer and exceeds the customer expectations. Exploit MyDx database. Obviously, we want to be able to. I see it at CDX Medical at some point in the future. Once we can identify formulations from a worldwide patient class, I think it's going to be exciting. This is why we want to work with the communities and look at what's fair and work with everybody to make it comfortable for everyone in this industry. International expansion. We look forward to expanding. We recently have a member of our team. Sean, he's in Europe, and we're excited to have him on board and to support us expanding in that area. And so we have a lot of IP. This is important. We've created our own IP. We've leveraged existing IP from Next Dimension Technologies, which is our sensor developer. He's got an extensive amount of patents that he's worked with Caltech to develop and license. And so we are very excited. We believe this is the most advanced technology for what we're trying to do at this time. We've looked at a lot of other technologies. We're excited to work with Will. We're excited to look at other areas that can complement his technology. So this is great, and we have an ongoing relationship. We have a lot of trade secrets in terms of our development algorithms and data and models and sensor models and interpretation models. So those will remain a trade secret. So over the last 3 years, we've achieved, I think 2 years actually, we achieved quite a bit. In 2013, it was seed funded by my group, and it was prepared. We prepared the market for a crowdfunding campaign, which we later launched. Achieved strategic partners, secured both R&D and the market side in terms of development partners, like Next mentioned. And really looking at partners like Steve Petrella, who supported us early, and a lot of the folks and the early investors who later came in Series A, we really appreciate what they've done so far. So intellectual property, we established a portfolio here. So this was our concept stage. That was our focus. So development stage in 2014, we developed the product. We crowdfunded it. We received our customers who came in early, and then we did a Series A preferred class. We closed at $600,000 there. We did a convertible notes and raised $2 million at that point. And then we developed MyDx Canna beta product, and then we manufactured MyDx beta product. We did the design for manufacturing. We expanded the IP portfolio, and then we shipped 220 beta units to the field. And then we secured Series B financing, and then we developed the unit. We completed the merger. We released the product. Organa R&D, preliminary R&D was completed. Company organization, and we actually shipped the product here, so that's missing on this point. But we actually shipped our product, which was the biggest milestone, and obviously named by Masterroots was a follow-up to that. So the MyDx Inc. that we're undergoing now, this was an important milestone. In 2015, we actually reorganized the company. We were going from an R&D company to a revenue-generating company, and we had to restructure because we had to bring in teams that can help us accelerate the growth as a revenue-generating company. So we had to lay off some of our staff, and we became a leaner company, and we're excited to move forward with the new teams, which we'll announce shortly. And then we have MyDx offering at this time. In 2016, we'll be focused on growth and spinning out some of the verticals. So let's meet the team. We have a very talented team. We have a very experienced team. We have a great team. And at the board of directors, we have at this time 6 members. Mike Harris, Fred Peer, George Jacoby, Ed Rothman, Dr. Stephen Katz, who's actually recently launched a pet line, therapist, and we congratulate him on that announcement. This is the current board. We have at the center of this team, sitting across of me right now, is Miss Jody Dillon. She's our head of operations, or the heart of this company at this time, because she interacts with everybody and makes sure that they're taken care of and in a timely fashion. So thank you, Jody. And we have TriNet, which manages our human resources. I want to introduce shortly here Mr. Albert Hugo-Martinez, who is our new CEO, effective today. So Albert is behind me, and I want to make the introduction. Let me do that. Actually, would you like me to do that now, or you want me to go through the company first?
Go through the company.
Okay. There you go. We're going to introduce Albert. We're very excited to have Albert on board. He's very seasoned, and he's going to help us go to the next phase of this company. So let me go through the rest of the team. So I'll be focused on product. We're working with Next Dimension Technologies. Dr. William Royer. We couldn't do this without him. He's been incredible in developing this sensor and working with the various requirements and the needs of everybody. So, and he's now stepped in, and he works with us on a weekly basis to work with the teams and get it done. AQS, contract manufacturer, they've really helped us, over the last year, develop this product, manufacture it. They're in California. They have they can do up to 10,000 units a month here, and they can do up to 100,000 in the facilities in China, and we can grow from there. But now that's good enough. So we're very happy to have them, and their patience and support in working with us has been appreciated. So so we'll develop sensors, and he works with Travis, and they will test these sensors in our lab here in San Diego, and he'll come in and test them. We work with ST Pharm Labs as well to test them on a GC, so we can cross-reference our data with them. We have electrical engineers, industrial mechanical engineering teams. Robert Rodriguez, electrical engineering, incredible. He did a great job on the board. Industrial and mechanical, Yuval and John, and some of the other mechanical teams like Fathom have really helped us, and so we're grateful for all those teams, including AQS's teams. Now, Rob Beagle, he's our heart and soul of our software. He deals with apps, data, algorithms, and very visionary, I think, sharp, and is now working with our development partners in across the world, including India, to man and execute at the speed that we'd like to move moving forward. So let's go to sales and marketing. So this is product, and we have other teams, and we can get into, and everybody's got a great bio. You can, we'll actually put all these bios on our website at some point. We should do that, Jody. And then, so Dave Bortolin is our heart and soul of revenue, and he's managing the market, and he's recently been joined by a wonderful gentleman. I don't know if you wanted to make the announcement just yet, so we didn't do enough for this, Matt, but you're on the sheet here. So he's recently joined as our Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing, and Matt will give you his background later. I'm going to leave that off the list for now. Sean, Nick, and Nick manages our social media. He's so anybody who responds, if he doesn't get back to you within 24 hours, just let us know. We'll make sure that he does a great job, Nick. Thank you so much for everything. And Sean in Europe as well. Very, I'm excited because Sean is an incredible guy, and he's going to do a lot of good things for us over there, and just a nice guy all around. And we have a lot of distribution channel partners that Dave is working with, and he'll be announcing some of those in the upcoming months. And Garrett in customer service has been holding down the fort whenever somebody can't connect to the app, when their Android device doesn't work because it has a certain version. We are there to try to troubleshoot it, and if we can't, we'll give you a timeline where we can fix it. So that's on that front. Our legal team, Wilson Cincini supported us in Series A, Series B, Overman Law, intellectual property, helped us with our IP. Steve Davis, our legal counsel, he really is there. He's so responsive, incredible person to work with. If you need anything on that front, Steve is your man. and Greenbridge Counsel, Kershey, in anything legal we needed on that front. He's been very helpful and really helped us move forward in the early phases as well. And NATCO does all of our stock. So we've got a great team. And I want to introduce Albert. I'm just going to give a quick background as to Albert is famous in San Diego. Actually, he's done a number of sizable exits for a variety of companies. He recently raised a lot of money for companies like iBoss and other. And I don't want to take away the thunder, but I do want to mention one thing, which is Albert at one point he was on the board of directors of Micro, and in our board. On our digital board, use a processor, a microchip, and they've got a long lead time. Maybe I think that's the longest lead time supply chain. So Albert has been 24 years on that board, and we look for him helping us. It's just ironic that we use that chip, but I want to, without further ado, Mr. Albert Hugo-Martinez.
Thank you, Daniel. Joining this company, and I tell you how pleased and excited I am. I have full intentions of assisting Daniel in making his vision a reality. I think we'll do a lot of good for mankind, and ultimately the intent is to help people, and that's why I'm here. So with that in mind, my background is such that I started out as a technician with Motorola. I left them after 14 years, became the COO of a company called Burr Brown Research Corporation, took them public, opened plants in Scotland, opened plants in Japan. I'm just going to hit a few highlights. I then became the CEO of AMCC, Applied Microcircuits Corporation, and then I retired after I went public. I then became the CEO of a public company called GGTI, came out of retirement. I had 8,000 employees in mainland China, 3,000 in the Philippines, 2,000 in the U.S. I sold that to Pulse Electronics. As a chairman, I sold Reaction Design, which is a private company, to ANSYS. And again, as chairman, I sold Ramtron to Cypress Electronics. I'm really excited about being here. I opened several plants, as I indicated before, but I've been involved with everything from semiconductors to manufacturing companies to software companies. And I've never dealt with this particular segment, but I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Albert. And Albert brings a team with him. So he has, we understand we're publicly traded, and we need to work on making sure that the investor world is aware of our activities. We've got a variety of public market consultants that Albert will be working with. Paulson Investment Bank, I didn't thank them. Thank you, Billy. And thank you, everybody, and Lorraine and everybody at Paulson for helping us raise the money that we did early on. And the entire shareholders that we have right now, thank you. Because, honestly, it's funny, things cost more money sometimes than you think. And we built a lot of great things, but you always need money to keep going, and that's the whole point. So this is an active role. Albert's coming in to manage that piece and make sure that we're successful at every phase of our development as we scale globally, and that means that position is so critical to our success, and we're excited to have Albert here to support that. Let's continue. So we do have a $2 million round that we recently launched a few days ago. MyDx is now a revenue-generating company, and as a result, we're focused on the focus area I mentioned over here, which is manufacturing, supply chain, sales and marketing, distribution channels, complete next-generation sensors, Organa or Acana Plus. So this is our focus right now. We want to recruit new talent. We've already done that, and we're doing that. We need to make sure we grow in the right directions, increase inventory, and support the economies of scale. We've got to be able to support the POs and the orders of 5,000 units or 10,000 units a month, which you have to prepay materials for. All that costs money. We need to expand our marketing, sales, and distribution efforts in the space, and marketing is very important. If you haven't seen a lot of marketing from us yet, we'd like to really expand on that, and we've got a great team. Matt is going to really kill it in that space, so we're very excited to have him. And we want to expand our investor relations activities, and Albert's going to support us on that front, coming in and making sure we move forward, as well as internally in the company and establishing culture. So we're looking forward to having him support that process and accelerate Organa and Acana Plus development. So this is where we are, and our key takeaways: we do have a first mover advantage in creating a handheld portable chemical analyzer. We We provide chemical analysis at a price point really others can't match. We have patented technology, which is a sustainable and will give us a competitive edge. And we're aggressively pursuing organic food and cannabis market at this time. The data coming back is going to be very, very unique as an asset. We look forward to working with partners and governments and industries to make that accessible and monetize it in some cases. Experienced management team, and really there's a line that Albert, we're brainstorming the other day. Help us legalize the industry. Help us legalize with data. It's important. With data, when you can capture people's ailments and say that this person felt this way, it's all anecdotal to date. But if people can record this information in a place where everybody can have access to, we can know what all the strains are that had this chemical composition, not just based on their name, and how it made them feel. So this is where we are, and if you have any questions, I encourage you to go to our website. Where my mouse is here, but we have a lot of resources on our website that you can. I do want to take our website very quickly. There's a lot of resources. You can even use our app on our site. You can learn more technology by clicking on the features in our apps. Investors can go to our website. We've got a great service that we use that really covers everything. We do owe you a PowerPoint on here, which we'll get to in it. So news can go through all of our recent press releases in order, our calendars. Company information will give you more information about the management team as we build in. Myself, at this time, Dave Bertolan, and Albert Hugo-Martinez, some more videos on them as well as our board of directors. Our contacts are all here. There's FAQs, financial information. You can go in and look at our latest Q that was filed. Stock data will give you a lot of information on our stock and historicals and where it's at. See, let me see here. SEC filings. You can see all of our SEC filings. We have filed an S1 on July 20th, and so that's in process for shareholders that are curious on that process. You can always call NACO, which is our transfer agent. They can compliantly give you whatever information you need. Their information is on our site, as we saw under contact. Otherwise, feel free to email Jody, and she will connect with me and Albert, and we'll help you do it. And all of our forms are on here. Corporate governance, it goes to our board of directors, Dr. Cap, and you'll go through their bios, accomplished group folks, and then we talk about our committees in terms of our governance committee, ethics committee, audit committee. So a lot of this is here. Our press releases, videos, press kits, whatever you need is here, and of course you can buy the analyzer from our website by going to our shopping cart. Okay, so maybe you want to start taking some questions. One thing to note on our frequently asked questions, do visit this portion of our site. We have our quick start guide here and some of our videos, but this has a lot of information, including what is the accuracy. I'm sure some people ask, and we'll look at some of that data, but it's got a wealth of resources here that really go into a variety of things. Okay, Darwin, I'll send it to you and know what questions we have.
Your analyzer is $6.99, sensors is $69.95, sensor inserts is $1.49. So do they need? I guess the question is, do they need all of this to get started with the analyzer? So do they need the sensors and the sensor inserts?
With $6.99, you get everything that we discussed there. Let me see here. Jody, we should update it. So this is you get the following. So your MyDx analyzer comes with a analyzer, quick start guide, the sensor. We're actually putting in 15 disposable inserts. We want more data, and power supply with cord and micro USB cable. So this is what you get. So you get an initial sensor. Now in the future, we have a sensor we can buy, which is another order item here, but people get confused, so we remove. So for now, you get this. That's all you need, and then as soon as you need a new sensor, you can purchase that for $69.99. But right now, nobody needs a new sensor because the sensors are good for at least 6 months, and we just started shipping. So everybody should be okay for now, and then in the next iteration of the sensor, we'll be able to sell more sensors.
Okay, and the second part of this question, do you feel the $6.99 is an attractive price point, and how did you come to that price point? And What are the margins on that analyzer?
So good question. So we launched an Indiegogo campaign, and we wanted this to be at $4.99, $500. That was the price point I really wanted because it's cheap enough. But obviously, there's nothing like this. We then started working with distribution channel partners, and they felt that we could go higher on the price point, and then we had to cover their margins so we can get it into stores. So that price started creeping up, and then we ended up at the $6.99 price. Now, to support this price, we're offering product financing in the future, as we nothing guaranteed, but at this time we are actively working towards that goal so that we can get the price point down to closer to $8 a month for certain consumers, and we look forward to keeping you updated on that process.
Okay. Next question, and I think you answered this question in one of your slides. I don't know if they missed it. Is there a patent on the technology? Is it proprietary?
Absolutely, yes, and I've covered that. So we have patents in-house, and we also have patents that are licensed. So depending on the patents you're looking at, we've got a variety of patents. Over 30 licensed international and U.S. patents that we have. So we're very good on that front, I believe, based on what we've done to protect ourselves both on our level or licensed IP or trade secrets, which I think are going to become fundamental. The sensor is not easy to develop. You've got to formulate certain chemicals, put them on there in a specific way, and that trade secret is incredibly valuable. So as much as you have an IP, we're not stopping there. We need to protect ourselves in many ways, including economies of scale. It drove the price down of this analyzer. It's all the original versions, and we decreased the price from a pump from $80 to less than $10. And we're very excited. So this is the kind of things we're doing to continue to drive this down. And I do believe in the future we're going to drive down these pricings, but we've got to support the channels. We've got to be able to work on across the supply chain. So this is how we arrived at that price point and the IP. Go ahead.
Next question. Your burn rate is very low. How are you paying employees and executives?
How do you know our rate is my answer.
What's that? What's that again?
Ask him how he knows our rate.
Well, I think they're referring to your expenses are very low. So are your executive employees getting paid in stock?
Well, no. I mean, so it's a funny question, but yes, some of them get paid in stock. We've had some recent folks approach us, and they want to look. We become a profitable company, so we're going to be as economical as possible. That's one of the reasons we did this reorganization, so we can get this thing done on a lean fashion, so we can grow, and make a profit as soon as possible, because we're going to be judged by our numbers. I guess the honeymoon of development is over. It's time to do the sales and revenues and make some real money here. So the investors have supported us to date, but it's time for us to now make money. Now, we're always going to need more investor capital so we can grow. That's how it works. The more money you have, the more you can do, the more you can profit. We're now profitable, and we're very excited, but we provide our employees. I believe everybody's happy at this time. I'm just, Jody here, you want to look at this chart? Is anybody unhappy on this chart?
No, this is well compensated.
Everybody's happy at this time, and we will continue to support them as we make more money and raise more money. So everybody's even happier, but we've got to stay lean, and that's become a culture in this company.
Yeah, and I'm looking. I went to your income statement. The quarter ended January. You only had $28,000 in SG&A.
On our Q, it shows general administrative $1.238 million ending June 30th. So I'm just curious where your number is. Did you say what did you say? 28,000?
Yeah, I mean that was for November, December, and January for 3 months.
Oh, that's last year. Last year.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, maybe that's correct. Okay, here you go. It's 103,000 here, ending June 30th. But that's probably correct. That's end of last year. That's before we raised. That's probably correct. That's before we raised money. I thought you meant the last few months. You didn't say December, November.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's as far as Yahoo Finance goes up to. They don't. I guess it's not updated.
Last year, that's probably correct. We didn't have a lot of overhead at that time. We hired a lot of the folks after we closed our Series B, and you know, and we've since restructured and reduced our burn again.
Okay. Next question. Don't the sellers or the dispensaries provide CBD and THC levels?
Don't the sellers? Go ahead. Finish the question.
Yeah. Don't the sellers and the dispensaries? I guess they're talking about the dispensaries provide CBD and THC levels. Do they not provide?
Some of them do. I can't tell you exactly which one. You know, certain maps might be able to tell you that, or you know, other companies. But yes, the answer is yes. Some of them do.
Okay.
You want me to comment?
I wanted you to comment. I guess if the dispensaries provide that data, does that make your analyzer? Do they need that analyzer if the dispensaries provide that data, or is it just
some of them? Depends. You know, look. So the process the dispensary has to go through, assuming they actually send the samples for testing, if they're actually at some point I remember reusing labels, you know, and you know, sometimes just putting the numbers up, and, you know, to high levels of THC because maybe that's what matters. So,
excuse me, this will provide the dispensary the opportunity to determine whether or not he can validate what information he's getting from another source.
Next question. Would this analyzer have any? Would the consumers? Would it have any other entity or person that could buy the analyzer other than consumers? Have you identified any other entities who could actually use that analyzer besides consumers?
Yes.
You got to define consumers, okay? Because let's say a grower has it. Do you consider him a consumer?
What's that again? I'm sorry.
Dispensary, are they a consumer? I don't believe so. The end result is the person who actually eats or smokes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, let me just go. So remember, we got manufacturers like growers, distributors. Right. So dispensaries might want to sell. Not everybody, you know. Look, this is legal in only some states. You've got a global market which doesn't have access to testing. Assuming they know, we're lucky here in the U.S. and we have access to testing. When I started, I had to drive to L.A., go to the workshop, and give Jeff samples and get to that. You know, so it wasn't. You need a practical solution that's affordable, so that the industry can leverage it and establish consistency of testing. As long as everybody can have it, then can trust and verify you're buying and selling and putting your body in, eventually regulate it.
I think the primary key here is the fact that you get instant verification.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not sending it off to the lab. You're not relying on anybody. You clean your hands and yourself.
Okay. Next question. When do you anticipate revenues?
We already. Go ahead.
We already are receiving revenue. We started shipping July. In fact, if anything, right now we would like to have a larger inventory so that we can take care of site.
Okay. And who are your competitors? Do you have any competitors?
So in the handheld chemical analysis space, no, nothing that can do what we do. You know, you have some. I look at it as not necessarily competitors, but in the portable space, you've got even Quantican or even Sage. You know, they do a kind of a tester but that's 20,000 plus on average. And I know both teams, and I think they have you know, good products. They look at THC, CBD, and CBN. We look at terpenes. So as well as THC, CBD, and CBN, they might have a little better accuracy on the cannabinoids, but we'll have the terpenes, and we have a total canna profile and a fingerprint across these sensors that we're manufacturing at scale. So we have on the GC side. I don't think you can necessarily compare us to a lab, so at this time, we believe we don't really have any competitors at our price point. That's the point of the takeaway. So at our price point, I wouldn't consider us having any competitors at this time that are going to do what we do.
And we're continuing to a lower cost version. So recognize that we're not stopping here. We recognize that the lower the cost, the higher the probability of having a larger customer base.
And this next question is sort of related to that. The companies that make the breath analyzers, will they have any hurdles to crossing over into the cannabis space?
So that's interesting because so the companies that make the breath analyzers are crossing over. So there are some companies that have this. We've been actually, we're familiar with them, and we are talking with some of them. Look, between the IP, the commercialization of where we are in the process, and what we've been able to do, I think we're the first mover in this market, and we have a footprint in this market. We will have a bigger footprint in this market, and whoever wants to apply certain technologies, if they're using an electronic nose, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be able to compete at this level, but we'll see. The market's open. That's why it's a market, and we're going to continue to build our applications and our sensors, and as the first mover in this market.
And let's face it, we see more active competitors. We'll know that we picked the right marketplace. Okay? If we don't see any competitors, then we're obviously not in a place where we should be.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that concludes our Q&A. Any last comments on MyDx Incorporated?
From us, Derwin, or from your end?
Yeah, any last comments?
No, we thank you for the invitation and your time, and we look forward to the future.
Yes.
And why should investors, just closing comments, why should investors take a look at investing in MyDx?
Well, at this point in time, since I just became the CEO, I would suggest that they look at my background. My experience with all of the VCs I've worked with in the past is they look at the management team first, and then they go from there and determine whether or not it's going to be a winner. I didn't come out of my retirement to just twiddle my thumbs here. We're gonna make this work.
I like that response. Well, that concludes our Q&A. We really appreciate you guys coming on to present. Hopefully you can give us an update maybe every 3 months or every quarter. But we really appreciate your presentation. Our next presentation is at the top of the hour, technical420.com. Thank you, MyDx, for presenting.
Thank you.